Kingdom Under Fire: The Crusaders is the sequel to 2001's by-the-numbers overhead real-time strategy game Kingdom Under Fire: A War of Heroes, which was originally released for the PC. Now exclusively on the Xbox, the new title blends hack-and-slash action with a suitably deep strategy element, creating a complex and compelling game the likes of which have yet to be seen before. The plot of Kingdom Under Fire: The Crusaders continues some 50 years after the previous game left off, weaving the tale of the human alliance and its ongoing war with the Dark Legion, a consortium of orcs, ogres, dark elves, and the like. While much of the story unfolds with talking heads set against a world map, you'll occasionally be treated to a number of dramatically staged cutscenes while in battle. The storyline may be a bit dense, but it does a great job of driving the 4 separate campaigns in the game, 2 of which are available at the outset, and 2 of which you'll unlock later on. As mentioned previously, the Crusaders combines real-time strategy with hack-and-slash style combat reminiscent of the Dynasty Warriors series. The best part is, both sides of this coin are integrated seamlessly. One moment you'll be mobilizing your troops down the battlefield, and in the next you'll be cutting a bloody swath through scores of enemies. Essentially it works like this. You'll command entire groups of soldiers at once. You select them by cycling through regiments using the shoulder buttons on the controller, and an on-screen cursor lets you perform actions such as moving your forces and attacking enemy units. An on-screen mini-map gives you a great view of the entire battle, but never truly takes you out of the action as it only uses a quarter of your screen. Once your commands are issued, you're right back into the thick of things. In addition to the standard move and attack commands, each of your units will have a number of special abilities, ranging from more powerful attacks to support techniques and even a handful of magic spells. You'll also have a large number of units to send into battle, from lowly foot soldiers to giant scorpions which function like living siege engines. If all this sounds like a lot to keep up with, well, it is. If the game has an Achilles heel, it would have to be the game's steep learning curve. The good news is that once you get accustomed to the pacing of the battle and issuing commands and putting yourself into the thick of it all, the rewards you'll reap from the experience of this game are as great as they are unique. The game translates the raw chaos of melee warfare like no other does. There's also a great deal of depth to experience between battles as well, from upgrading units to learning spells and uncovering new plots in the labyrinthine story. There's also an online component, though it regrettably isn't as polished as the offline portions of the game. You can pick from one of the game's 4 playable characters, and you'll be pitted in a one-on-one match against another player's army. There are a few connection issues and there's some noticeable lag present, but if you're a big enough of a fan of the core gameplay, you should be able to look past these rough edges. Aside from the deep gameplay, Kingdom Under Fire: The Crusaders looks simply amazing, which is impressive considering how many of them there are on screen at any given time. They're all animated well and emote the frenzy of battle brilliantly. The soundtrack is an odd but driving mix of heavy metal guitar rock, and it blends very well with the altogether gritty presentation of the game. Unfortunately, the English voice acting is probably the biggest shortcoming of the audio presentation, but you can opt for Korean dialogue at any time if you want a more authentic and emotional performance. Despite the rocky beginning of the Kingdom Under Fire series, the Crusaders has turned around to make a very rich and entertaining gameplay experience for the Xbox. As you can probably tell, this game is not for everyone. You'll need a strong devotion to hack-and-slash action, strategy gaming, and even some role-playing elements to fully appreciate what this game does. But if you do like all these elements, then by playing Kingdom Under Fire, you'll be in for a treat unlike any other.